New tonight on KGW News, how the man who posted videos of his dangerous driving all around town told a judge he doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
I am not a harmful individual, nor am I out to harm anyone.
Plus, why a family who lost their 17-year-old son in a street racing crash says justice isn't being served.
I don't want to see this happen to another parent. You know, it's awful.
Then, the mission authorities say pulled more than 1 million doses of drugs off the streets. And later,
puck is dropped and away we go.
Call it now or never for the Winterhawks as we learn if they can keep their postseason alive. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. We begin tonight with a Gresham couple grieving the loss of their 17-year-old son, and now furious, they say, that the young man allegedly responsible for his death is about to get off easy. Ellen McCarty has the story of a deadly street takeover that upended their lives.
On a foggy November night,
we turned the corner on Marine Drive. We just saw all the lights, a mile down.
Cameron Lively's parents approached the crime scene in North Portland.
Just in the blink of an eye, he was gone.
Leslie and Chris Lively's 17-year-old son dead at the scene. The passenger in his friend's car during a street takeover.
Cameron laying in the intersection under the lights, and I just remember saying, "Is that my baby? Is that my baby?"
His death just 2 hours after they'd celebrated Chris's birthday as a family.
Such a big heart.
He's so kind, so caring, such a good kid, and he got caught up, being a kid.
Months after his funeral, reminders of Cameron are everywhere. Pictures line the walls. His bedroom sits mostly untouched, though more memories crowd the shelves.
A huge devastation loss to our family.
But Cameron's parents fear justice won't be served, that the suspect who was driving the car, 19-year-old Juan Medina Dominguez, won't face the appropriate consequences.
Well, you've taken somebody's life, and you've got some consequences you need to pay, you need to account for. Cameron's not innocent. He was in that car. He was being a stupid 17-year-old kid, and he paid the ultimate sacrifice, so now it's your time.
The Multnomah County District Attorney confirming that Medina Dominguez will take a plea deal this week. In court documents, the suspect wrote earlier this month, "I negligently caused the death of Cameron Lively, driving in a manner likely to endanger people and property while participating in a street takeover."
I'd rather fight. I would rather go down fighting than just settle on injustice.
The Lively's wish this case would have gone to trial, to in part send a message to other teenagers street racing on Marine Drive.
And they do it on the same place Cameron died.
Yeah.
It's the same, and they don't care.
But also this isn't going to stop them from occurring. So what can we do to make that stop?
We'll find out the exact details of the deal in court on Thursday. According to court documents, Medina Dominguez will be looking at 3 years or so in prison, followed by 5 years probation. The DA's office tells me they are not able to comment until after the sentencing. David.
Thanks, Alma. Appreciate your reporting tonight. To new information tonight on the man who was arrested after he posted videos of himself driving dangerously all around town. He appeared in court in downtown Portland today and told the judge he plans to represent himself. Oscar Burrell Jr. pleaded not guilty to several counts of reckless driving and reckless endangerment. Videos posted to his Instagram show this, him hanging out of the truck on the highway, passing traffic on the shoulder, and driving through parks. Today, prosecutors tried to get the judge to take Burrell into custody again, calling him a danger to society. Here is what the suspect said in response.
I don't feel that I'm a harm to society nor the community, and I have a lot of people that speak highly of me, think highly of me, and are truly inspired by the good doings that I do in this world.
There you go. Burrell also suggested the judge take his license away rather than put him back in jail. The judge ended up banning him from driving for at least 6 months. He'll also have to wear GPS monitoring while awaiting trial. Developing tonight, an Oregon driver accused of hitting a bus head-on Friday night, killing a college softball player and her coach, is now facing charges that include manslaughter and DUII. Authorities say 32-year-old Jonathan Dowdy was driving on Highway 42 in Coos County with a suspended license, no insurance, while speeding. And that's when they say he hit a bus head-on, carrying Umpqua Community College head coach Jamie Strintz and 9 other members of the team. The crash killed Strintz and 19-year-old Kylie Jones, a freshman. Strintz's sister says Jamie leaves behind her husband and 16-year-old daughter.
She was so proud of her. So I'm going to do everything I can in my power to make sure she's taken care of, because that's what she deserves and what Jamie would want.
Now she's in the field of dreams, so she's going to be able to look over us. Like, it's so many different things that now we can, use it and kind of build the softball community around.
Field of Dreams. Several GoFundMe pages have been set up to help both families there. Other students and staff also suffered injuries. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, opening statements got underway today in the retrial of an Uber driver accused of murder during a road rage incident in downtown Portland. Jeffrey Hammond is accused of shooting and killing Ryan Martin and also allegedly shooting a bystander who was recording the aftermath with his phone. Hammond turned himself in, claiming self-defense. A jury deadlocked in his first trial last year. In Arizona, a jury convicted so-called doomsday mom Lori Vallow Daybell of conspiring to kill her 4th husband, Charles Vallow. The Idaho woman's already serving multiple life sentences for the murders of her 2 children and her husband's first wife. Prosecutors say Vallow Daybell and her now deceased brother planned the killing of her 4th husband for life insurance and Social Security benefits. Vallow, acting as her own attorney, told jurors her brother shot Charles Vallow in self-defense following a family argument. And we're just learning about a months-long mission in the Portland Metro that ended with authorities making dozens of arrests and seizing more than 40 pounds of fentanyl. Portland police teaming up with the sheriff's office, DA's office, and federal agencies in February. Altogether, they arrested 46 people, seized guns, cash, and 44 pounds of fentanyl powder, which the DEA says enough to create more than 1 million potentially lethal doses. Police telling us they specifically targeted the Lentz neighborhood in southeast Portland and the Goose Hollow neighborhood around Providence Park. Okay, let's talk weather impact now with a chilly morning, a beautiful afternoon, and what sounds like a couple of superb sunny spring days in our immediate future. Chief Meteorologist Matt Spanos here. Matt, first things first, how are things looking when it comes to catching a glimpse of this week's meteor shower?
We got a clear sky. That's all we need, right? It's really a beautiful evening out there. And at 55 degrees, it is warmer than it was this time last night by about 5, 6, 7 degrees around the metro area. So that's a significant difference, especially if you're going to be standing out there looking for the Lyrid meteor shower, which should be getting going and getting better and better as the hours go by overnight tonight. So what you want to do, look to the northeast sky, but really they can appear from any part of the sky. The Lyrids have a reputation for being fast and bright and occasionally a little bit colorful. You'll see one every 3 to 5 minutes, about 15 to 20 per hour. The best time are the pre-dawn hours, 3, 4 a.m. If you don't want to stay up that late, I get it. I'm not going to do that either, but we'll take a look after midnight tonight. And of course, we've got the clear sky. Temperatures will be falling into the 40s within the next few hours. It will be clear, but not as cold overnight tonight as it was last night. We had temperatures down around 32 this morning in parts of northwest Oregon. Sunny and warm, though, for the next 2 days. Really nice. And then more on the showers and the potential for thunderstorms on Friday and into the weekend. David, we'll talk about all that a little bit later on. Back to you.
At least we got sunny and warm. Thanks, Matt. New tonight, Portland Public Schools superintendent has just released her proposed $2 billion budget for next school year, one that includes some $40 million in cuts. Catherine Cook was at the board meeting and is in the newsroom. Catherine.
David, the superintendent said the district sacrificed deeply and strategically before going over the nearly 300-page budget. And not a lot has changed since January when we got our first look at the proposal. On the chopping block, at least 200 full-time equivalent positions within the schools and 85 positions in central administration. The cuts reflect a 15% decrease from this year's budget and a continued trend of financial struggles. Last year, the district cut $30 million from its budget. A PBS has experienced a 10.3% drop in enrollment since 2020. Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong said that, along with inflation and limited revenue from the state, were all factors in this latest budget. A budget she noted is based on the assumption that voters will pass a $1.83 billion capital bond set for next month's ballot.
Our financial reality is serious and we must act with intention. We are in an alarming state, but even more than that, we are at an alignment moment. Alignment with our values, our goals, and our responsibility to every student who walks through our doors.
On that note, Armstrong said every choice in this budget connects directly to board priorities: third grade reading, fifth grade math, eighth grade readiness, and high school graduation. This summer, in an effort to improve enrollment, Armstrong says the district is launching a campaign touting why now is the time to stay in or come back to Portland Public Schools. No word on where funding for that campaign will come from. A public meeting on this budget is scheduled for next Tuesday night at Grant High School, with final adoption set for June 10th. David.
Interesting note on that campaign. Catherine, we should also note a large portion of the bond measure on next month's ballot would go toward modernizing and upgrading 3 high schools. Really appreciate it tonight. Speaking of schools, by the way, new at 11, we have the latest results from Washington's special election, with 2 school levies in Clark County now on track to fail. Let us start off with Battleground Public Schools. This levy would take the place of the Education Operations Levy that expires at the end of this year and aims to fund student educational programs and improve student safety. You can see of the ballots counted so far, nearly 52% have voted no, 48% in favor there. Let's jump over to Hawkinson. Nearly 56% of people have voted no. That's again the ballots that have been counted, 44% voting yes, so a wider margin there than Battleground against. Keep in mind this is for a levy that aims for school safety improvements. We are also keeping an eye on whether voters want to create a regional fire protection authority between Camas and Washougal. A 4% gap here with the no's in the lead, 52 to 48%. Again, preliminary and early results, all subject to change. Election results there will not be certified until May 2nd. Well, meanwhile, Washington has a long and growing list of new laws, with Governor Bob Ferguson signing dozens more today. Here are 3 that stood out to us. First, Senate Bill 5480 that aims to remove barriers for consumers created by medical debt. It bans hospitals, physician groups, and more from reporting medical debt to credit reporting agencies or credit bureaus. Number 2, Senate Bill 5065 that prohibits the use of certain animals in traveling animal acts. It includes elephants and bears, among others. And finally, Senate Bill 5355 that makes changes to improve safety and resources for survivors of sexual assault on college campuses.
Creating stronger, more immediate support systems for survivors of sexual assault on college campuses allows those students to persist and succeed in our colleges.
All right, another bill signed into law prohibits an employer from automatically excluding an individual with a criminal record from any job. You can check out a list of some of the new laws in our story up now on KGW.com.